Okay, everyone, this is Vince with Listings to Leads, and we're talking with Keller Williams Marco Island today about Facebook advertising. And you do have an office account, and you all have the ability to log into your platform. And when you log in to Listings to Leads, I'm going to go over to the listings page right now. There's basically what we want to talk about with Facebook. I am going to log into Facebook and show you how to run an ad. I'm also going to, but I want you to understand not just how to, copy and paste a link and put it in Facebook and how to technically do that, but also how to understand what you really need to do to get a broader reach, build a brand, and of course, generate, seller and buyer leads. So we're going to cover all that. But I kind of want to go over this real quickly. If you haven't seen it before, you each have the ability to log into your own account and your listings flow in automatically into the system. And you'll see that from the left, you can edit your listing. You can add lead generation links, which point to your website, whether it's an eEdge market leader site, or if it's a new Playster site, or even if it's an old agency site, you can click this select lead gen links button and have links pointing right to your website with certain keywords that are important. And that's great way to generate leads. Now, we also auto-generate single property websites and virtual tours. We auto-upload to YouTube for you, and then we give you a series of e-flyers here from just listed and even coming soon for virtual tours, open houses, pending, under contract, even price reduced, and of course, just sold. So these things are automatically sent to you. And then we also, at the very same time we send a flyer like that, we also send a Facebook ad, right? And everything, if you're not familiar with it, everything we do, all of these flyers, all these Facebook ads are all designed to capture leads for you. They're all talking about you. They have multiple links to your websites, and there's just lead capture all over the place. And all these tools that I'm pointing out are automatically generated in an email to you. So you definitely want to take advantage of that. But the reason why I'm on this listings page is because I do want to talk about Facebook. And I want you to understand that two of the most important tools for building a brand are right here on this page. So if you've got your own listings, you can log in and you'll see this page. And if you don't have your own listings, you can borrow listings. And usually you can borrow them from your colleagues in your office. Some people borrow listings from agents outside of their office and just sort of build up relationships that way. But however you get a listing in here, you're going to see these series of buttons and tools. So there's two key tools that our clients use to build a brand on Facebook, and let's just look at them really quickly. The first is the single property website. It's the red button with the white house on it. And if you click on that, you're going to see a single property website, right? And like I mentioned before, these links are pointing right to the left-hand side, and they can point to your website. Now, over here, when we click on one of these, we're actually getting off of our tool and into your website, but the consumer can also follow this home, fill this out, and you'll automatically get a lead. And then they can schedule a showing if they want to see this home, right? And if they fill that out, they're going to automatically get a lead, or you're going to automatically get a lead. So this is one of the key tools, the single property website, that you want to use to build a brand. And notice here it says just listed. And that's a key point of how you build a brand. You want people to know that you have homes just listed. In this case, this is an open house, and it's for the showing agent. So this is in an agent's account. It's not actually their listing, but they are showing the home, okay? And here, up on the right, it says open house. And notice on the left-hand side, there are multiple ways for consumers to look at this and go, oh, you know what? I want to see other Marco Island homes. I want to see homes in Naples. I want to find out what my home is worth. And wherever this person clicks, there are ways for the agent to capture that lead. So this does a few things, right? It obviously informs consumers about the home. It has multiple ways to capturing leads, but it's also telling the market when you run an ad on Facebook that I have open houses, right? And in this case, I have homes just listed. And if you scroll down, and I haven't looked through all of this, you can actually say, I have homes under contract. I have homes with price reduced, right? These are great times to market out into your market in general, but Facebook specifically. So if you haven't noticed, you can actually click this first button that has it's an edit button. And here are all the statuses: coming soon, under contract, under deposit, active contingent, pending, just sold. And each home can be marketed multiple times. And when you're talking about Facebook, you definitely want to market various different stages. You want people to know that you're associated with homes that are just listed. You want them to know that you have an open house. And of course, you want everybody to know that you've just sold a house. So make sure and log into Listings Leads, take advantage of setting the status, and that status will flow through the tools. And then you can put the tools out on Facebook. So when we look at that, and I'm going to grab this right here. I'm going to open this one more time. Actually, I've got it open right here. So what you want to do, what you want to think of is, I want to put different single property websites on Facebook. I want to run that ad for 3 or 4 or 5 days. And I want to do that with as minimal amount of money that Facebook will allow. Because what you're doing is you're building brand. You're letting people know, I'm Associated Open Houses, homes just listed, homes just sold, right? Bare minimum. You want to get that message in front of Facebook. And the reason that you want to do that, if you're not familiar, I don't know if you're all on Facebook or if you're not on Facebook, but 71% of adults in the United States are on Facebook today. And that's adults, not teenagers. And those are the people that you want to build your business with. So this is the first place you should be thinking of, I need to tell people I'm a realtor. And if you took this, in this case, it's Janice is the showing agent. If she put that and took this page and put it on Facebook and said, I'm going to run this ad for 4 days, for $5 a day, for 20 bucks from the open house is on Sunday. If she starts running it on Monday, and that's what, 5 days, let's just say $5 a day for $25, somewhere from, I'm going to say 3,000 to 7,000 people, maybe 8,000 people are going to see this. They're going to see that she has an open house. Now, some percentage of those people, maybe 100, maybe 50, maybe more, will click on it. And when they click on it, some percentage of those people will fill out a form like this. But the first thing to think of is when you're building a brand, for 25 bucks, where are thousands of people going to see that Janice has an open house on the market? That is obviously on Facebook, right? So the single property website is right here. And I want to point out another really important tool when you're building that brand, okay? And it is the listing landing page. So we actually create a landing page. It's over here to the right of the Facebook ad. And when we open it up, it's got the first picture of the house and it says open house. Now she's actually, it might be your whole office, but you've also got the text information. So you can text a unique code to this address and the consumer is going to get a virtual tour sent back to them automatically with all the information on the open house. You, the agent, are going to get the lead with the phone number, right? So this is a great way of filling it out. Now, I'm not going to fill this out because then Janice is going to get a lead. She's going to start calling me and all that stuff. But what happens is when the consumer fills this out, they get dropped on this single property website, okay? So they get dropped right on this. And Janice gets the lead from this page, okay? Now, this is the exact same house. The difference is it's a different look. And when you're building a brand, you certainly want to have the same logo and the same company that you're promoting, but you want to have different tools. You want to say different things. You want to say, oh, I have tools like this. I have open houses. I have just sold. But I also have totally different looking marketing because you're building a brand to have people start to get aware of the cool stuff that you have. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but this picture here is a little bit fuzzy. You may not be able to see it. I know you got a small look over there. But on here, the picture is very clear. And that's because these photos come in automatically from the MLS. They go, when you put a listing in the MLS, it gets put in the MLS, it is swept to KWLS, and then it is pushed over to List Hub, and then it's pushed to us at Listings to Leads. And so those photos that go in the flyers and the virtual tour and stuff like that, they look pretty good. When it's out here in this format, it gets a little bit stretched. It's okay, but you could upload a photograph by going to the virtual tour page here. And I'm going to click on the virtual tour button. There's an upload a high resolution. So just upload a bigger photo because it's always compressed when it comes in from the MLS. And when you do that, that will replace this photo automatically with the full size image. And that's always a smart thing to do, especially because you're building a brand. And when you're building a brand, you want high quality tools out there, right? You want everybody to be, excited about what they're seeing and associating to your brand. So these are the two key tools on the listings page. I'm just going to repeat it for the single property website and the listing landing page. And also, you could mix it up. You could put a virtual tour out there now and then. It looks the same. Great tool, looks good. But what you're doing is you're running ads for just a couple bucks to let everybody know, the 71% of your market, that, hey, I'm a realtor. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to do that. But before I show you how to do that, I want to go to the other part of the strategy. And that part you get on the landing page section here. One of the things that's exciting about listings to leads, and I think exciting in real estate in general, is the fact that Facebook is such a powerful place to get listing leads, okay? And so when we go over here to this landing page section, we have got property valuation +1, plus property valuation plus. We got growing families. We got pages for empty nesters. You get free reports. All kinds of great landing pages to generate seller leads. We've even got, landing pages for FSBOs over here on the left-hand side. So when I click on this button here, there aren't any here, right? Now, if you're brand new to listings to leads, you're not going to have anything available here either. So if you go to the landing page section, what you should bare minimum do is go to this section that says create your landing pages here, type in the farm area. So let's just do one farm area, Marco Island. Now, I know that you all are growing your business in multiple areas, right? Maybe it's Naples. I don't know even the neighborhoods. You might have certain developments where you're in. Type in each one of these separately. We're going to just do Marco Island and click save. But you might have a bunch of areas, right, where you are building your business. You want to type that word in correctly, capitalize it correctly, and click save. And then there's a little message that says, we've created this series for you successfully, right? And at that point, I can click on FSBO, and I've got a Marco Island FSBO page. And you can find FSBOs over, I don't know, on Craigslist. You can find them on Zillow. You can even buy a list, and you can get this in front of people, right? But we'll go back to the dashboard, and we've got other landing pages for condos for sale, apartments for rent, all these things over here. But the number one page that I really prefer is Property Valuation Plus. And Property Valuation Plus looks like this. Now, I haven't been to Marco Island, but I'm pretty sure that this page, this street, does not look like Marco Island. Okay, it doesn't look like that. And these pages work really well when you've taken a couple of minutes and got the right picture that triggers something in the local person's mind. Because remember, what you're really doing here is you're going to give somebody a valuation, but before they get that valuation, they have to give you their contact information. And I know you guys see, pages all over the internet when you're on the internet asking you to register, and you, like everybody else, does not want to fill that out. Because why? You're going to get spam for the rest of your life, and that's a problem, and blah, 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 right? So the first thing to give some comfort level to those folks on the internet that have never met you is change that background picture, okay? And when you change that background picture, you want to make sure it looks good. So we're going to go there and change this picture right now, because that's a key thing to making this work. You might buy some professional photographs, right? But let me just show you the way that I do it, okay? I go to Google and I type in Marco Island. And when you go there, there's a tab right here that says images. And here are all these areas that kind of look like Marco Island. Now, I don't really know this area that well, but there's a couple things we want to do before we pick that photo. We want to click on search tools right up here. We want to click on usage rights. labeled for reuse because you're going to use it. And there are some people that feel like, yeah, I'm going to share this. The other key thing is the size. Click on size, go to larger than, and go down to 4 megapixels. This is the size that will fit into that page pretty easily. Now you can see we're kind of reduced in our size, but I'm going to click this here. And this photo looks like, that kind of looks like Venetian Island, right? So we'll just sort of go through this exercise. You find the right photo, click View Image. It shows you the image. Right click and save this image. And I'm going to call it Marco. And then I am going to this page here and click Edit Landing Page. Okay? This is my Marco Island landing page. And if I go down here, desktop, should be called Marco. There it is. And there's one other thing I like to change. And I want to point this out because when you get to listings to leads, you're going to find a ton of things that you can edit. And there are certain realtors that see all those things and they get totally confused because they think they got to touch everything. No, that's just how Scott does this. He sort of is one of those people that doesn't sleep and just keeps throwing more and more stuff in here. So here are the only 2 things I want you to do. Get the right picture for your landing page and change this second line here to these words. Get your answer in less than 15 seconds. And that's it. There are a lot of cool stuff on this edit page, but I want you to get out there and get some base hits before you start diving deep and doing all this stuff. So now let's go up to the Marco Island page. And here's that picture and it says, get your answer here. I'm going to refresh this and it changes this page to look like this. What is your Marco Island home worth now? Get your answer less than 15 seconds, okay? So now we've got the right kind of tool to run and to get some campaigns going on Facebook, okay? So before we do this one, which I know everybody gets excited about because it's a chance to get more listings, let's talk about building the brand, okay? And we've got this open house. And I want to get this on Facebook, okay? So let's go, first of all, let's copy the link. The link always starts with searchallproperties.com. You do not need to go buy your own hyperlink for running these ads on Facebook or Google. So I know that many times that's like the first thing an agent thinks. I need to have my own, vanity URL from GoDaddy. You do not need that for Google and Facebook. All right. And so from here, I'm going to go to Facebook. I've copied the link. I want to go to Facebook. So we're talking about brand building right now. And you run the ad differently, slightly differently than when you're running a property valuation ad, okay? So I'm going to click this. Over here, there's like a navigation bar, and there's a little triangle pointing down. And you want to click on Create Ads. And when you go here, again, just a little, warning, don't get distracted on everything you see on Facebook, right? Pay attention to the things I am describing here. Get started, get good at it, and then you can expand from there. Your objective is to send people to your website, okay? And we're not sending it to your agent website. We're sending it to one of our tools. And remember, this tool is an open house. Here's a great thing here that distracts a lot of realtors, Facebook Pixels. Really cool technology. I totally don't know how to use it, and you don't need to know how to use it to generate these leads and to be successful. So just get that page in there and then go down to the bottom right and click Set Audience and Budget. And here is where the real critical and most important piece of Facebook is right now. And so you need to understand this. This page, what we're running an ad for, is for Marco Island. So right here, I am going to type in Marco Island and it pops up Florida. And notice that it shows you a little map, and it also says Marco Island plus 25 miles. Now, I don't know Marco Island that well, but I think 25 miles is a little bit far. So I usually, when we're branding, we want to let people know we're a realtor. We want to let people know we have open houses, and we want to let people know that I've got a home just listed or just sold. Usually 10 miles, I think, is a far enough radius. Now, I will point out, and you may know, because you may live north of Marco Island, and Naples might be important to you too. So you got to choose your judgment. Is it 10 miles or 25 miles out that you want to do that? You can also slide that into something else. Another important piece is, what is the age bracket? I don't know if I want 18-year-olds looking at this. Just for sake of conversation, I'm going to say you got to be at least 25, okay? And there are more things you can do. You can exclude realtors. A lot of people like to exclude realtors. You can also search on people who are homeowners. I don't really recommend it. Some of our clients do it. I just feel like you start putting too many filters on, you start hurting your results. So my two filters are get that zip code and radius correct, and get the age bracket right, okay? And then here's the key piece. Set your lifetime budget. Now, it changes the numbers. So I want to change my budget to 25. Well, let's see. Yeah, $25. And I want to start my ad on Wednesday. And I want to end my ad. It'll always push you out a month, so skip back a month. I want to end it on Monday. And it tells me right here, I'm only going to max spend 25 bucks. And my estimated daily reach daily is 10,000 people minimum on Facebook, right? That's pretty awesome for 25 bucks. Because I don't know how you get, I mean, if you're doing an open house, where the numbers are huge. A lot of people are going to see this. So that's it. Choose ad and creative. And this is an important piece, again, not to get distracted on. There's all this really great stuff about how do you want your ad to look and all this up here. And agents just get lost and confused. Just scroll down here. This shows you what you need to know. Okay? Up-to-date photos, maps, schools, blah, 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 right here. Now, that's like our generic stuff. When we develop this, this is just what we have. These words on the top of this photo, they're not really that compelling, right? What might be compelling is this is a new custom home, that will be open this Sunday. And whatever I type in this box here will be in that box above the photo, right? So you got to think of what's really compelling. And if you've got a lot of information that you want to put, and I'll tell you some information that is really useful, this information right here, text 2857. Let's go back to Facebook. There's a cool spot right here. Not many people know it. Show advanced options. It gives you a little box and you can paste the information. And now underneath the ad, it says text 2857 to 25678 to receive all photos, details, and more via text 24/7. So right on Facebook, you're giving these people two different ways of getting information, right? So I want you to be aware that what is over here on the left flows into what's right over here. Now, I also want to point out that it says sponsored by Listings to Leads, and that's because I'm with Listings to Leads, right? But when you run these ads, it's sponsored by you, the realtor, or you in Naples or Marco Island, whatever it is that your business page brand is, that's what it's going to come out to. And as I mentioned and showed you earlier, thousands of people are going to see this for 25 bucks. That is the power of Facebook here, right? They're going to see it and they're going to get familiar with it. And you may not get a lot of leads in the first week, right? But the more you build your brand, the more leads you get, both buyer and seller. So you can run a seller ad, and a lot of people do, and hopefully some of you have done this. They get a property valuation page like this, because this is the exciting piece. This is the exciting piece in our space right now. And I don't know how many people sign up every day. I need this page. I need to put it on Facebook. And how do you do that? And then they get this and they put it out there and they get some results. Some people get like 20 leads in a weekend. Some people get 100 leads in a weekend, right? And that's awesome. And we're excited for that. We're glad to help on that. But our clients that routinely do what I am showing you start to get more and more leads, and they get more and more leads with deeper quality because people have seen their ads out for weeks and months, and they recognize that you, the agent, are actually in real estate and they're familiar with your brand. So that's a really key thing, right? So let's talk a little bit more about this little section here, which you wouldn't really pay much attention to, but I want to kind of speak to what it is, because some of this is really important. Mobile newsfeed means that this ad will show up on mobile. And what is mobile? Well, all the smartphones in the country, right? Half the US adults or more now have a smartphone. So do you want it on mobile? For this, I'm building a brand, yes. If somebody's like sitting there getting a coffee at Starbucks or whatever, I want them to see that I'm a realtor. So definitely I want that. If I don't, I can click remove. Instagram, for now I'd leave it. I don't know if it's really a great lead source area. It's probably good for you to build a brand though, because there are a lot of people there and younger people are on Instagram. Desktop right column, I would remove this. This desktop right column means, I'll show you what Facebook looks like on the right, but it's not a place that's really great. We want it right in the desktop newsfeed, which is always a default, and that is the number one. That's right in the center of Facebook. That's where people are scrolling through, 20 times a day to look at their friends' kids and the cat videos and all that stuff. So you need it right there, right? Audience network, I don't know if I'm really sold on that, but just leave it. If you feel like you want to change it, fine. When you place the order, Facebook will review this for like a half hour, an hour, and then they'll tell you, okay, it's live. And at the end of the ad, in this case, it's 5 days later, you are going to get some analytics from Facebook, and it's going to say this many people, it reached this many people. Thousands every day, right? This many people clicked, right? And that's going to be important to know how many clicked. And then, of course, if they fill out forms, we're going to send you leads. So that's an important piece that you want to look at, because there's kind of two things. I'm going to give you the pitfall right now of when this doesn't work. You run your ad and you see that it reached thousands of people and you get no clicks. That's like the first thing that goes wrong, right? No clicks. If there was no clicks, it's for two reasons that are right here on this page. Either one, your photograph is not that compelling, and two, your language is not that compelling. You just didn't write enough that makes me interested to even click on that, right? The fact that this is open and it's in a great neighborhood and got great schools or whatever, you just failed to put that in there. There's just nothing compelling for me to even click that ad. So you got to think for a minute, what's going to get me to click in here, right? And put, you know why you're selling the home. You know what the hot buttons are. Put them in that ad when you run the ad, okay? So place the order and you'll get some results later from Facebook. You'll see your leads flowing, and that's kind of where it is. So I kind of just breezed through a bunch of stuff right now. Donna, I think now is a good time for me to have a sip of coffee. And for you, if you have any questions over there, let me know if you do. And then we're going to get into how to run this ad, which is how to get seller leads. Okay, you look, do I unmute? Yes, you unmute. Yes, yeah, because I didn't mute you. Whatever you like. You could type. Okay.
You got it?
I can hear you. Let me know your questions.
Okay. Anybody have a question they'd like to ask?
Are the e-flyers printable?
Are the e-flyers printable?
Are the e-flyers printable? Let's go to listings. I guess the short answer is no. I guess the short answer is yes. But when we click the e-flyer button here, these are e-flyers. You can send them to yourself. There's a button here on top it says print flyers. There are multiple versions of print flyers. You can print any of these. So you wouldn't necessarily want to print an e-flyer, but you could if you really wanted to, right? But there are e-flyers and print flyers.
And Vince, I've been asked, when we do those print flyers, sometimes there's just not much wording in them.
Yeah.
Can you ask them to add wording to it?
Not really. But if you have something that you feel like, because let me kind of pull one up here real quick. Some of these you can see are formatted different ways, like brochure 11, brochure 12. So they have more room for language, right? And so you need to choose the one that is got more room there. I'm gonna open up brochure 11 and we'll kind of look at that.
I think what seems to happen is that we don't have very much language that comes over.
This language here should be on your listing on the edit listing.
Yeah, it definitely is. But on some of the other ones, I mean, maybe not theirs, but there's very little. So if the agent hasn't put a lot in the description, is there a way to add to it? And I've told them no, but I want to make sure I'm right.
The way to add to your description
would be in there.
Is in edit listing.
Okay. All right.
It's this section right here.
Okay. Now, can we go back to when you were talking about the target audience and talk to us a little bit about in Marco Island and in Naples, specifically though, Marco, if we're doing an open house, I can see where we would want to keep it into the area of Marco Island. But if they're advertising listings for sale and trying to find buyers, most of the buyers are not in Marco. They're somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
You can talk about how we would do that kind of marketing.
Yeah. You know what? I am going to lower this for a second because I got that sound coming back. I don't know how to do that. But let's go through the exercise one more time.
Going back and
I'm going to copy here. And I'm going to go to Facebook. I'm going to create an ad. And while we're doing this, I'm going to point out that while I don't know how, I have a lot of clients in Florida that do know how to do this. So what I'm trying to tell you is, I'm going to point you to where it is. I just don't know that particular part of the strategy, right? But let me kind of point out what it is. We want to send people to the website. And we got to set this. And so one of the things that, actually it's Keller from Naples. You've probably seen his name, Neil Wolf. So Neil, I think, is from Chicago. And somehow in Facebook, you can go in this detailed targeting and you can find people who have interest in Florida, right? And somehow he can actually tell people who are from Chicago that like Florida. And he targets people this way because in his thoughts, it's like, hey, why wouldn't they want to work with somebody who knows that knows where they're from and kind of knows what they would want over here in Florida because he's from there too. So that's a big, and I've got clients in Miami that do the same thing because there are a lot of folks obviously that move from other areas. So you certainly can target other states. I know I was just in North Carolina, in Nashville, and they were saying there are certain cities in the country and states where people like to buy homes in this area. So you can say, I want for those people to live in that area. And so these are kinds of the things that you can do, but I don't know specifically how you do it, but I know that a lot of it occurs right here in interest, other categories. So you got to kind of go in there and look. That's really all I know. Does that help you?
And I think the other thing that I've gotten a lot of questions about that I'm not sure how to answer is back in the beginning when they're setting up their lead generation links.
Yeah.
Where those lead generation links should end up.
Okay, that's a great question. Let me lower this.
And if you a different part of the presentation, that's fine.
Yeah, it's a different part, but you know what? That is a really important question, especially for you at Keller Williams, because you always have, I think you always focus on powerful websites. You know, years ago, Keller Williams started a relationship with Market Leader. We were very excited about that because Market Leader sites are awesome for converting traffic to a lead. But you have to know how to do it right? You need to get people to that site. The downside of Market Leader is it has no SEO. And we work with thousands of people at Keller Williams across the country, and Market Leader started to realize we were a top source of traffic for all Keller Williams agents because of the way our platform is built. So let's talk about lead generation links right here. And here's the open house. Here's I'm going to click on Naples right here. And this is a great example of what not to do. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt Janice's, feelings here. But let's kind of click through and see what happens when you click on Marco Island. And Marco Island, same thing. Not good, not good. So I'm going to turn this up real quickly. And Donna, do you know Janice's website? Janice.
Can I just try it real quick?
Yeah, you try it over there. I'm gonna do Janice Broyle. Visit my website. Okay, your KW agent. So it might be
royals.kwrealty.com.
Correct, KW Realty. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that's just taking her back.
Her URL is not hooked up. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So she's, you know what? She's probably not one of the better ones to use because she's using a third-party website.
Got it. Got it. So if she's got a third-party,
look at one of the listings from the McCarty team.
Okay.
Oh, they're on third party too. Cindy Timmerman, right there.
Who?
Cindy Timmerman, it would be this one right here.
Okay. So let's look at her single property website. And Marco Island beachfront. I'm going to click that. Whoa. Cindy has got some video down here.
Hi there, this is Robin K.
This is the part that I don't think we know what to do properly. Because everybody's doing something a little differently.
Yeah. So Cynthia is totally maximizing what we're doing. Okay. She's got Zillow reviews plugged in, and she's got a Marco Island video talking about real estate with her talking about it. And these links on the left-hand side, Marco Island beachfront, they point right to the right page on her website. Okay? So this is really, in my mind, Marco Island home for sale. Well, this is not really great. She shouldn't really be using this. What she should be doing, I'm going to click on her website. And there is a link right here that says Marco Island. I'm going to lower this. I'm going to finish this process. This is a really important piece. And this is for Market Leader. And you can do this on any website you have. If you have a third-party website, you can do that. If you're using Playster, you can do that as well. The thing we love about Market Leader sites is when a consumer drops on this web page, they got about 2 to 3 clicks. And then they got to register. And I'm going to click on Marco Island because this is the page I want to see her using. And another great thing about this site is it gives a summary right here. So if a consumer saw this ad anywhere and they clicked on Marco Island's home for sale because for some reason they did not want this home, and obviously you know that the majority of people who see your home for sale anywhere, the majority will not want to buy that home for whatever reason, right? That's just the law of numbers. So when they click on something like Marco Island Homes for Sale, We want them to land on this page because this little summary says everything about Marco Island. New listings, foreclosures, short sales, single families, and condos. So this is a really powerful page. So how do we get this page in her platform? We click here on Marco Island, copy the link, and we go back to, now in this case, we can go to this green button, and I'm going to paste this link right here with the website URL. I'm going to click it and make it active, and I'm going to say Marco Island homes for sale.
And that's all you do to create it.
I just need to know how to spell island. And she already had one ready somewhere. It was down in this section. So I'm deselecting that. Naples condos. So I'm going to leave Fiddler's Creek properties. I'm going to leave all those alone. Marco Island homes for sale, beachfront, waterfront. Kind of a lot of links, but okay. I'm going to save that. And when I refresh this page, which I'll do right now, you'll see that I have Marco Island homes for sale. And I click through here, and I land right on the page that I want consumers to be on. Now, I want to point out that this is a really important piece, especially if you're using market
Hi
leader.
there, this is Robin Keller reporting from the great
Because
paradise of
on average,
Marco Island,
20%
Florida.
of the consumers that look at our tools click a link like this. And I'm going to tell you, I've got offices that generate a 50% click-through rate, meaning 1 out of 2 people that looks at this tool will click a link and get out of it. And I want to point out why it is they do that. Consumers think in terms of area first, but pricing second. So in Marco Island, I think waterfront home makes a ton of sense, right? I don't know why we've got beachfront and waterfront on the same thing, but you may want to clean that up.
I'm here at
But Marco Island condos from 4 to 600 or 5 to 700, and then Marco Island condos from 3 to 500. You want to put some price brackets there because that's what people think of intuitively and quickly. And this, in a way, you know, you can think of it as a resume. When somebody looks at a resume, they look at it for 7 seconds, 6 seconds, right? They look at some key things, and then it's like next, or put it in a file and look at it again later. When you look at something like this, you quickly make some decisions. Is the price right? Is enough bedrooms? Do I like these pictures? If no, if I'm scrolling down, well, I can click something if you've made it compelling enough, and the first thing that people think of is the area,
so if you
then
want to check this place out,
the
do
price.
It soon because the
So
landscape is
our clients
changing.
that get a
Now,
50% click-through
it
rate,
looks like
which
a
is
bunch of
unheard of
aliens
in
built
any
this
industry, it's because they use price points. That's how people think of.
Had enough
Okay.
sun, sand, and
Does
water
that make
for
sense?
one
Did I
day?
answer your
Then
question?
treat yourself to an amazing massage. Get
It
your nails or
does.
hair done at several of the
Guys,
island
when
spa
you're
and
talking
wellness
about
centers.
the
Those in need
site
of cerebral
of where it's
stimulation,
going to,
check out the
that's a
Marco
whole other
Island
class.
Historical
So don't ask him, you know, how to make that happen. That's a whole other class that we'll do. But when we were doing this the other day, the biggest thing we didn't do was hit those lead generation links.
Yeah. Let me
So
tell
that's
it makes a huge difference, and let me show you why. Those lead generation links, you can set them up and they will automatically flow into your single property website, into your virtual tours, into every e-flyer, into every Facebook ad that flow under these pages. We also auto post to a blog. Those lead generation links get built in right there. I'm going to go up here to the section that says lead links. And this is a big deal. I mean, this is actually, it's not something, it's not the sexy part of listings to leads, believe me, right? It's not. But, you know, we look at it this way, and you may not know much about listings to leads. The reason we became an approved vendor for Keller Williams, and the reason we are the only channel for Craigslist ads in ListHub, is because we made these links available at one click for Craigslist. And back in those days, Keller Williams was pounding Craigslist like crazy, right? And we had the best way to get leads off of there to your website. Well, we took that technology and said, if a realtor is going to do this, if they're going to put out an e-flyer, if they're going to put out a virtual tour, let's use that same technology. Let's get those same lead generation links into those tools so that in every action that they take, they generate leads, right? And so that's the key of what we're doing here. Now, I want to point out something here. You see that in section 1 of lead generation links, it says create direct links to your website. So you really should create these links in your own, on this page. Have these links pointing right to your website. But I want to point out a really key thing here that makes the automation even better. This link says Marco Island Home for Sale. If I select over here, Marco Island, what this does, and I save it at the bottom, the next time a listing comes in Marco Island, it will automatically give it this link and point it to this web page. Now, this is the office account, so it's not really an agent account. But when you log in, you want to create those links in this section, which is called lead links, and make sure if you check the box, this is going to be your default link. So maybe you always want search all homes for sale as a default link. You might also want Marco Island Home for Sale here, but I'm just showing you. You can also, in your case, maybe Marco Island is always, a default. Maybe Marco Island Waterfront is always a default, like it is here. And you can see here that they built out some of those Marco homes under 500K, right? And you could say, yeah, I always want that when it's on Marco Island, right? But I'll go back here and point out another important thing that I noticed. Fiddler's Creek. Now, I don't know Fiddler's Creek, but I'm going to assume that Fiddler's Creek must be an important place. Because Cynthia here has done some really cool stuff. She's got her reviews plugged in automatically from Zillow. She's got a cool video here that's populating. So I'm guessing she knows kind of what's going on. And that Fiddler's Creek is something that people would see and go, yeah, I want to look over there. So put in the right neighborhoods too. That's always there. In most cities in the country, there are certain areas where people really focus on, and that's what you want to sort of take advantage of as well. Do we have enough there?
Yeah, I think so. Who's got questions? It's a crowd. I've got a ton of them, but first of all, well, this is important now, but I don't understand how these got in here because there are other agents' information in our website, but it could be just from when John has been demoing, so we'll fix all that up.
Yeah. These don't actually, this is your broker account.
Right.
These don't even need to be in here because your lead gen links are designed to go from the agent account. So if the agent goes in and builds a better link, those are the links that are going to their own listing.
Okay. So we only have one zip code in Marco Island. So for zip code, they can just put the one in and they're good. And then I guess in the other areas that we have, they can also select the zip codes that they want to target in Naples.
No, let me explain this area here, and let me just first say this very clearly. Do not use a zip code in this page, okay? When you're on this page and you can select a city or a zip code, ignore the zip codes, okay? I'm going to say this a third time. Do not mess with these zip codes. These are valuable in very big metropolitan cities. When you're targeting, I just don't think they're even valuable. Ignore them here. They're valuable in LA. They're valuable in the 5 boroughs of New York, right? That's where zip codes, in this function here, that is relevant. For you, if you've got a city, choose the city or town. This is what's relevant for you, okay? Ignore this here. Zip codes become important for targeting in Facebook, but not right here on this page.
Vince, when you did the drop down, where do those things come from? Because I see that it's got individual condos listed, it's got areas, so where does that come from? When you put in city,
yeah,
where does that?
These are coming from the towns on your listing feed. So you have Cape Coral as a town, you have Essex as a town, you have Fiddler's Creek. Now, that being said, let's kind of jump over to it. I'm going to click on listings, and your agents may fill out the MLS wrong, right? Maybe instead of a city, they put in Fiddler's Creek. Now, I don't know what Fiddler's Creek is, right? But
Right.
when we
Area they
look
call it
here, I'm going to go to edit listing. The city is Jackson. And if somebody typed in beach or Fiddler's Creek or whatever, that then becomes a city and becomes a drop down on that page we were just looking at.
Oh, I see. So it's pulling them off of the listings that we have.
Correct.
Okay, got it. Got it.
Okay. So what other questions do you have right now?
When you do the property valuation page and somebody clicks on it, where does it go?
Okay. Yeah, that's good. So it's time to get back to property valuation. I want to kind of point out two things. We're going to get into the property valuation thing, and then we'll kind of jump off. There is a what is your home worth link right here that you can associate, and this is our old school squeeze page. This can work really well. But if you want something like this, which I think works a little bit better, you can copy this link and go to your lead generation link and paste this in. Say, what is your home worth? Make it a default and turn off the default what is your home worth down here in section 1. And so on the side of all your tools is going to be this page, okay? So, but that's one piece, and because there are kind of two ways to answer that question. But what I want to do here, this is an office lead, and so I'm going to fill this out so you understand what's going on here, okay? In case you haven't seen this, I want you to see this, right? So I'm going to type in here, and this is what happens. So I'm going to show you in a minute how we put this on Facebook. But right now, I want you to understand what this page does, okay? Now, a consumer types in their address. And this is my address, right? So I click go. And so the way the page is configured is it shows the consumer their home on a Google map. And we do that for buy-in. Right? We want we want people to go, oh yeah, they know what they're talking about. We're pulling off the tool here. Is this the right house? Is it a 3-2? Yeah, it is. Okay. Click here to see if your information, and it says, we have your valuation, including history, market conditions. We need your contact information to get it. And you can see in the background, there's a picture of the home again, or the area. So when I fill this out, why are you interested? Well, I need to sell soon. Okay, click for report. And it says, great. If you like to schedule a call, right? And I think I filled this out. This is really Cynthia's. So over here on the right, I got an email, auto response with the valuation right here, right? And it says, dear Vince Meza, if you need to sell soon, I'd be happy to provide more information. So I'm probably going to get a call from Cynthia because I'm pretty sure she's on top of this. And this is all the information I get as the consumer, right? Cynthia has got a lead. Also, at the bottom of this is a really cool, the signature bar from your account. Each of you have this signature bar. You may not be aware of it, but notice that it has Marco Island homes for sale and waterfront homes and all these ways to capture leads right here on this page. And so me as the consumer got the valuation I wanted. You as the agent got the lead that you wanted. So does this help? Do you understand?
Kind of, sort of.
Okay, so all that information was pulled in from Zillow?
Yes.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so let me point out, because I know there's a lot of people that get upset with Zillow, especially in the real estate industry, right? So I'm going to log out of this and go into my little demo account. So so I can kind of jump around and show you a little bit more. There are, when we go to landing page section, there are pages that say the word plus. Plus means it has a Zillow valuation. There are also other pages that don't have the word plus in it, like property valuation, right? If I click on Lafayette over here, this does not have a built-in valuation. Let me kind of walk through it again for you. 1595 Huston Road.
Can you do a local one so we can see it?
Do you have an address? Hold on a second. Now I'm kind of stuck in the message here.
What is it? 209 North Barfield Drive.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I got to kind of go through the process. Okay, so you can see over here on the right, I've got a lead, all this stuff, right? So let me see if I can get back. What was that address again?
209 North Barfield Drive.
North Garfield.
Barfield. No, Bar with a B. B-A-R. Field Drive.
There it is right there.
And just on the north, but, oh, there it is. Yeah, there it is. Okay,
Okay. And then we have your valuation, right? And I put in my info right away. Now, the issue of there's a downside to Zillow estimates. Number one is their accuracy, right? The upside of doing it this way is what I was kind of described earlier on, which is you can actually get, because you're giving somebody the access to instant information, that's the upside. So a lot of realtors absolutely hate Zillow estimates, right? But unless you've got a better way of getting a number in front of somebody in 15 seconds or less, then you're kind of at a disadvantage. This page here actually, I think, is the one with the estimate, but let's go back. Because I may have jumped. This is property valuation. So when we click here, let me do it one more time. 209 North Barfield Drive in Marco Island. This just takes us to a place where we've got your valuation, right? It doesn't show you the house because we're actually not connecting to the Zillow feed, so we're not connecting that way. So in that place, they got to fill it out right here, and then they get an auto response thank you from you saying we will supply this. And you've probably got another resource where you can pull together some comps or anything to help them get an idea of their home value. Does that make sense?
And is there anything easier for them that just says call for evaluation?
No, you can type that out by hand. This page is designed to capture leads, and it's a very effective way to capture leads, right? So when I want to point out when realtors, because a lot of realtors, I know team leaders from Keller Williams that absolutely love to use it, and what they do is they present this page right here. As soon as they get a lead, they just email this page and say, "Hey, this really speaks to the accuracy in your market. Would you like to schedule a 5-minute consultation?" Right? And they just call them immediately, send them this, and say, "Hey, you got a number? Is that high or low? This is what we see in the actual. This is what Zillow is telling us that they are, 40% of the time, 5% wrong, And then, 60% of the time, 10% wrong. Does that 10% swing or 20% swing mean anything to you? And obviously it does, because that's all money.
Okay. I think if you could show us the posting to Facebook.
Good. Let's do that. When we do a posting to Facebook, give me a second. Oh my, I got to get back here. You want to get to the view, so just click view. Whatever you find that you want to post, click view. And you want to copy this link, okay? And could you tell me the zip code to Marco Island?
34145.
Okay, 34145. I'm kind of muting you on and off, so if you say something to me and I don't respond, don't get mad at me. So I am going to go here. I got to get off of this page. And I'm going to go create an ad. And the functionality is almost the same, but there are a couple of critical things that are different that you definitely want to be paying attention to. When you click send people to your website, in this case, we're doing a property evaluation website. You click on the blue button there and it pushes up. Again, ignore Facebook pixels and stuff. And what is the zip code one more time? I'm sorry, Donna.
34145.
Okay. Use a zip code when you're doing this. And I'll tell you why. I'm going to click that zip code here, and it shows everybody in Marco Island. And this is different because we're running a Marco Island ad, and the ad says, what is your Marco Island home worth? We don't want people in Naples to see this because it's specifically talking to those folks. You can create Naples pages in your account just as easily as we created the Marco Island one. So some people, I don't think you would do this, but just for conversation's sake, some people want to run county-wide ads, right? Because they just want to run ads. They don't want to have multiple ads. Well, you get your results are just so poor because I live in a county that is pretty big, and my home is vastly different to some of the other areas of this county, so it just doesn't become relevant. If you talk to me about Contra Costa County, I'm not even looking. There are some, and so I just want you to be aware of that you can create unlimited landing pages for all of your farm markets and go from there. Now, in this case, maybe people don't own homes under 30, right? So I might want to change that. But the zip code being right in the zip code, no radius is key here, okay? I suggest that you ignore all this, but I want to point out that the budget is another important piece. Now, you got to test this out, but I'm going to change this budget to $60, okay? And it's not something that, and this is why, I'm going to just go through the steps here. I want you to understand. I want you, when you start running ads, especially for property valuation, not for brand building, but for property valuation, to run them for 3 days over the weekend, okay? It's different from building a brand because building a brand during the week or all week long, for that matter, is you just need people to see your logo, to see that you're a realtor, that you have homes coming, you have homes sold, and et cetera, et cetera. But when you're getting a property valuation, it's not just about them looking at it. You need them to click on it. And that's why I've moved the budget from $5 to $20 a day, because I want these people to click that page and fill out the form. Okay, whatever form you decide to use. And notice, I've got a lifetime budget. There's 1,000, 1,200 people that will see this every day. Okay? Advanced options, we don't need to worry about that. We're maximum spend $60. And like I said earlier, people will get anywhere from 20 to 50 to even up to 100 leads we've seen in one weekend. Okay, so choose the ad and creative. Remember, just to repeat, because this is really critical here. If the page is Marco Island, only people in Marco Island should see it. If the page is in Naples, use a zip code, only people in Naples should see it. Then choose ad and creative. Again, you don't need to worry about these things up here. Turn off newsfeeds ads. What happened here? Now, for some reason, I'm not seeing the photo on my page. Turn off newsfeed ads. I got to go back. That's kind of that's unexpected. Let's do that one more time. Send people to my website. Paste. Property valuation. Set audience and budget. Sorry, Donna. Zip code?
209.
One more time, sorry.
Oh, the zip code is 34145.
Thank you. Okay, so we set zip code. We set a minimum age. We set our budget. I do recommend 20 bucks a day. Set it to a lifetime budget for the life of your ad. And I recommend that you do it Friday through Monday, which is 3 days. And here it's punching out an extra month. You just be cautious. That's sort of the way that they do it. What did I do wrong here? Oh. Yeah. There you go. There's my max budget. Okay. And choose add and creative, and hopefully it doesn't give me that same issue again. And it is, I'm not sure why. But it should show a picture of this page right here. Just this picture, not the little form in front. And your language, find out your value, home value. This is where I like to say, and this is key, like this language here is not useful. And maybe because I have my ad blocker on. But click here to get your automated online home value in less than 15 seconds. So I understand, believe me, I understand you know, the accuracy issues of the Zillow estimates, right? I mean, it's like in the press and everybody knows this, right? But let me point out why this is so key. People, unfortunately, they really don't want to talk to you until they absolutely have to. But they always want this answer. What is my home worth? I own a home. I'm just thinking about it. Maybe I'm thinking about it for 24 months or 6 or 2 months. And by giving them this message where it's automated and online in less than 15 seconds, that takes away a lot of the fear of me having to talk to you, right? If I want to go look at new cars, I kind of just want to look at them, but I don't want to talk to that car salesman yet. If I go into Macy's to go look for some shoes, do I just want to look at shoes, or I need somebody to help me look at shoes? It's kind of that sort of thing. This is getting an instant answer to a consumer, and it gets you that lead. You don't have to use the Zillow estimates. As you can see, we've got many pages that don't use them. But you cannot then say, I'm going to get you an automated online value in less than 15 seconds, which is a incentive for the consumer. There's another important piece here that I want you to be aware of. Again, remove from the right column. Mobile, and you should always test things, right? I'm suggesting that you run it on the weekend. Mobile on the weekend is kind of fine, because mobile on the weekend means an iPad and a tablet, right? And things like that. I got these, you know, we all have tools. We might be sitting there watching TV, watching the game, and we're just scrolling through our tablet. But all of our pages, every page, our virtual tour, our single property website, our property valuation pages, they are all mobile optimized. But not all of us are comfortable filling out forms on our phone. So mobile doesn't, it works better when we're dealing with iPads and stuff because it's a bigger page. But it may not be great when we're dealing with a property valuation page, which is I need to put in my address and this and that. So on the weekends, I'm pro mobile. During the week, I'm not. you can test it in your market and see what's going on and what works best for you. Okay? So Donna, let me open it up for questions here.
Anybody? I've got a lot of deer in the headlight looks. Yeah.
Link all the friend people and unfriend people and follow people. So how does this like offset send out to people that?
Well, this is not going through your friends.
Okay.
Okay, this is going through your Facebook advertising. So it's not going to happen with your list of people.
Right. So how does
It's because when you go in, you're picking out that audience. You are telling it to pick people that are registered with Facebook in the following interests and ages and all the different things that you might pick. You can also post it to your friends and send it free right to them. But this is talking about specifically when you're paying to have Facebook send it out for you.
So if he send it out, and then I will
You would, that's correct. Right, because it's grabbing it from just what you set up in your profile for Facebook. So you know when you set up Facebook, it tells you to set up your interest, that kind of thing. That's how it's going to grab you. Vince, can you just give us a quick overview of what you're going to be teaching? Not to show us, but tell us what you're going to be teaching us this coming Monday.
We're going to talk more. Let me lower this. We're going to talk more about core tools because what we talked about today is Facebook advertising. And I got to tell you, if you don't have a lot of listings or if you are new to real estate and you're kind of really you need to build your brand, you need to get leads, Facebook is an awesome place to do that. And even if you're an established realtor, it's still an awesome place to make your business go bananas. But in listings to leads, we have a lot of core tools. We were looking at the dashboard earlier, and I want you to understand, we'll probably go over again how to generate the right lead generation links, what to do with a single property website, what to do with a virtual tour, how to use the e-flyer and Facebook ads here that actually don't cost anything, and they help develop referrals and get leads and all that, right? I'll show you how to get on Craigslist. We've also got some cool tools up here, and actually there's somebody up in Naples, the Neil Wolf call, if you ever look at that. Neil is using this page right here that you all have access to. He's putting it on Craigslist. I'll show you Neil's because he's customized it for his own business. You can customize this page to your own business. He's putting this on Craigslist. He's getting, a couple hundred leads a month from Craigslist using this very page. Now, when you log in as an agent, the first thing on the pop-up page is Keller Williams, Neil Wolf, generating a bunch of business. You could watch right there on what he's doing. We're going to talk a little bit about that.
Okay.
And then I'm probably going to want to point out, over here on the email blog page, there's this cool signature bar. I kind of showed it to you a few times today. But whatever message you put in this box here, which might be a market update, right? Maybe you do market updates and you want to send it to people. Well, if I save this, whatever I type in that box, if I save it and then I send an email, I am going to get an email that has that message with that signature bar. That signature bar is your key lead gen links, your contact info, your social media stuff, and your banner. Now, I don't know where it is hidden in my world. Probably have to jump around to find it because things go into my folders and stuff. But these are just all a lot of great tools that you need to be familiar with, and you may not know that they're there, right? You're busy, you've got your day job, but there are a lot of tools here that can help you. Cynthia, for instance, somehow found out that there's a video center right here that you can import your video and have it auto associated to any one of your listings. You could say, I want this video to go to all properties in Naples, and I want this video to go to all properties in Marco Island, right? There's a lot you can do here to really boost your marketing and your lead generation. So we're going to talk on our next call about core tools, a little bit less about Facebook.
Okay. All right. Any final questions before we let them go, guys? Yeah, we have a lot of lists over here, and I'm thinking that you and I talked about flying you in here 2 hours is not going to get it. We're going to take the whole day.
Yeah, you know, when I flew up, I was at Keller Williams up in Minnesota. We did a full day, and we did four presentations on various aspects, so that you can leave that day. You don't have to go to every one of them, but you will have actionable items, and you will understand this. So we can take time to get into the questions that you have. And if you feel like, Donna, that if there's a specific question that everybody has, and you want me to do a quick video like this and just send it over to you so you can see it, just email that to me. I'm happy to do that.
Perfect. That's perfect.
Okay?
All right. Anything else, guys? All right, Vince, thank you very much.
All right, everybody. I'll get this video up online and send it to you later on today. Thanks so much for your time, and let us know how we can help you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.